Hey, I'm Ian, and I have got a story to tell you. When I was little, I was a very opinionated kid. I had likes and dislikes. And I'm going to share with you the top 5 things that I hated above all else. Or really just things that annoyed me and frustrated me to the point that a 5-year-old would make a top 5 list. Number 5. Mosquito bites. I don't like them. Number 4. Smelly perfumes. I don't like them. Number 3. Steak. I prefer chicken. Number 2. Pain. Not a huge fan. And the number 1 spot goes to shoes. Why shoes, you ask? Isn't it obvious? I was an adventurer, and adventurers don't need shoes. All true adventurers know that shoes are just a support item that are only used by the weak-willed and the weak-footed. But my mom didn't get the memo. You don't get it, I'm an adventurer. Well, I want you to wear shoes. So I would usually wear flip-flops. But one day, I grew bold, and the adventurer in me was bursting at the seams. As I was gazing out at the green expanse in front of me, I knew that I, all alone, must set out to the great unknown. After all, it was a mighty big and fearsome place for an adventurer to face. I slowly unsheathed my feet from my flops, and that's when I heard a voice behind me. You'll get hurt, Ian. Don't do it. I turned and looked at my mother. And I quickly turned and pretended like I neither saw or heard her. Knowing I had very little time, I plunged my little biscuits into the soft grass. And I quickly recoiled my foot in unimaginable pain. What I hadn't seen, that my mother had seen, was a dead bumblebee. A dead bumblebee that had its stinger lodged in my foot. And even though the bee had crossed over into the spiritual plane, it left its stinger behind, like a tiny landmine, ready to destroy anything that was unfortunate enough to step on it. In the end, my mom was able to help me get the stinger out, and I learned that day that I needed to rethink my list. Bees were definitely going to take the number 1 spot. Oh, and that I needed to trust my mom, I guess. Okay, fine. Because of my lack of trust and my selfish desire to do things my way, I got a nasty bee sting in my foot. Our parents aren't the only ones that want us to trust them. God does too. It can sometimes be difficult to trust God, especially when you don't see the big picture like He does. But let's look at a man who got things right, who trusted God and had his faith in Him. And he did things God's way, even when everyone else on the entire planet was doing it their own way. This man was Noah. And since the Bible doesn't describe what he looked like, I took creative liberties and gave him a mustache. Even though Noah wasn't perfect, this is a story of how Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and he landed high and dry.
The Lord looked down from His window in the sky, said, I created man, but I don't remember why. Nothing but fighting since creation day. I'll send a little water and wash them all away. The Lord came down to look around the spell. There was Mr. Noah, behaving mighty well. That is the reason the scriptures record Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. The Lord said, Noah, there's going to be a flood. There's going to be some water. There's going to be some mud. So take off your hat, Noah. Take off your coat. Get Ham, Shem, and Japheth and build yourself a boat. Noah said, Lord, I don't believe I could. The Lord said, Noah, get some sturdy gopher wood. Never know what you can do till you try. Build it 50 cubits wide and 40 cubits high. Noah said, there she is, Lord. The Lord said, Noah, it's time to get aboard. Take a creature, a he and a she, and of course Mrs. Noah and your whole family. Noah said, Lord, it's getting mighty dark. The Lord said, Noah, get these creatures from the ark. Noah said, Lord, it's beginning to pour. The Lord said, Noah, hurry up, shut the door. Shut the door. The ark rose up on the bosom of the deep. After 40 days, Mr. Noah took a peep. Said, we're not moving, Lord, where are we at? The Lord said, you're sitting right on Mount Ararat. Noah said, Lord, it's getting mighty dry. The Lord said, Noah, see my rainbow in the sky. Take all these creatures and people to earth. Don't be more trouble than you're worth. Oh, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and he landed high and dry.
In Proverbs 3:5, it says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Instead of selfishly going your own way and getting hurt, let's be like Noah and put your faith and trust in God. And if you do this, I can say with confidence that that your greatest adventure is ahead.